And we're back 20 minutes until 10 o'clock. Senator Roy Brown joins us this morning, candidate for the office of Governor of Montana. And as I must do each time, I will say this, that if the governor wants to call and refute any of this or add whatever he would like to add to it, then the microphone is his. All he's got to do is give us a call and we'll arrange for a date. Jonathan was asking you a question a little while ago, Roy. Do you expect to win? Well, I would be real surprised if you ever entered a race in which you did not expect to win. Nobody does that. But that's also included in this survey. It's kind of interesting that in the coming legislative sessions, or elections rather, the voters were slightly more inclined, 42%, to reelect their local legislators rather than support somebody new, 38%. With this 3.5 difference one way or the other, that makes it very, very close, doesn't it? It means the voters are taking a good look at what the candidates for both parties and both incumbents and new people are saying.
Yes, it's kind of funny at times when you look at when people have their decisions about legislators. Usually they think the one they have is pretty good. It's the other guys that are the problem,
Yeah.
And that I think that's pretty typical of a survey. Is that people think that the person that they have is helping them out and doing the right job, and we just need to look at the other guys.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I would think. Maybe I'm not typical. I don't know. I look at legislators and talk to legislators all the time. And I'm constantly measuring, and how did you vote on that bill, and why did you propose that bill? I don't know. I think I would disagree with you. I think most people take a real good look at it. Greg is calling from Missoula, and he's got a question for you. Greg, good morning, and thanks for your call. You're on the air.
Thank you, Senator Brown. I was just curious why you don't get a copy of Schweitzer's donor letter and send letters out to his donors.
Well, that's a question that I'm not going to do that. I think it would be a waste of money, and I'm not into intimidation, trying to tell people that I'm watching what you're doing, and I'd just soon concentrate on what I need to do, and that is get my message across to the people of Montana that we need better government, not bigger government. We need property tax relief. And we need natural resource development, and finally, we need to be promoting Montana, not myself, and that's what I'll do. And so I'm not concentrating on trying to get someone else's donation list. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you're probably working hard on your own list right now.
I am. That's the best way to do it.
Sure. That's an interesting question, though, and I appreciate the call. Let's go to AJ calling from Helena. Good morning, AJ. You're on the air.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I had a two-pronged question for Mr. Brown, and one is, as governor, what would he do about the global warming crisis? And the second prong of that question is, have you made any changes in your personal life regarding global warming issue? Thank you.
You bet. Good question, and thank you very much, AJ. Appreciate it.
Well, I think over time I have made some changes in personally in what I feel about global warming. I think that the planet is warming slightly, and that it has happened. Now, whether that's all because of man-made processes, I think is debatable. But at the same time, we have some very smart people in Montana and in our universities and in various places, and we can come up with ways to mitigate anything that might be caused by the man-made portion of that. And especially this latest Future Gen project that was proposed that we just talked about earlier. That would have been a perfect project for Montana. We have the coal and all that, but the Schweitzer administration decided not to even put in a bid on that particular project. So there are ways to solve this problem, but at the same time, we can't just turn our back on the energy needs of Montana and of our nation, and there are ways to mitigate these problems.
Roy, that didn't come up in the survey on global warming, probably because it is probably not a state problem. If something is going to happen, it's going to be a national problem.
Yes, it is, and we need to address it on a national basis and do what's right. And part of this mitigation process and all these things that go on with global warming, who's going to pay for all these changes that aren't completely scientifically proven? The consumers are, and the people that buy electricity are going to end up paying a lot more for their power over the next decade because of things that aren't absolutely proven scientifically.
There was a story in yesterday's USA Today, Roy, maybe you saw it, about the light bulb, just the plain old incandescent light bulb, that its days are numbered. We've been using the same kind of light bulb for 128 years, using it well and replacing them, I guess, when they burn out. The cost of the replacement light bulb, though, is considerably more. But the manufacturers promise us that it's going to last 6 or 8 years, and we'll get the savings back that way. But it's strictly an attempt to reduce the amount of energy use.
Well, and that's one of these smarter things that we can think of as people that are going to figure out ways to conserve energy in the future. And we have a lot of people that are very smart and can do that. One thing I noticed when I was traveling around Montana, and this is a huge state, and I noticed there's an awful lot of distance between those light bulbs out here, especially in eastern Montana. And I've already put 6,000 miles on my pickup going visiting with people, and it's been quite an experience. But like I say, there's a lot of distance out there, and really enjoy it.
At night, it's dark, too, isn't it?
It does. It really does get dark, you bet.
Well, let's talk about some of those issues that came up in the survey. Most of them affect our wallets and our pocketbooks. But the top concern at 28% was the higher energy costs. Since we're talking about energy, what can we do about that?
Well,
as governor,
there are a lot of things we can do. One thing we can conserve. Another thing is we can develop our natural resources in an environmentally sound way. And at the same time, we need to add in things like wind, solar, all those issues that will help, because we're going to need it all. It won't matter what it is. We're going to need every bit of energy we can over the next 20 years to make sure that the light bulbs stay on.
Yeah, good, a good tie to that too. Lower taxes, government spending, that was big in the survey as well.
Well, it is, and I think people are starting to realize that property taxes just keep going up and up, and it's a bigger part of their household budget. People have paid for their homes all their lives. They're on a fixed income, and they see that their property taxes keep going up, but they really don't own their homes in a situation like that. And so that's why I think we need long-term permanent property tax relief, and that's what I'll be pushing for in the future.
Well, you're right about never owning your home. It seems like you're renting it from the government after a certain point.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, and we don't want that to happen.
No, we do not want. Well, first of all, I don't think the government's a good landlord, and I can point to some national parks to prove that.
Well, that's true.
What about let's see, health costs? Boy, that is big, and a lot of people talked about health costs. What do you have in your bag of tricks for that one?
Well, and I don't think there's anybody that can say they have the magic solution to that problem, because healthcare costs are going up, and we're not going to control health insurance costs until we control healthcare costs, and so we have to get some sort of a control over that. I don't have a magic solution to that, but I do intend to, as I travel around the state, I'm going to try and set up some sort of listening sessions as far as healthcare goes at the various medical centers in Montana, so that we can come up with and bring people together, the healthcare community, the insurance community, the consumers of health insurance and healthcare, and see if we can't come up with a solution that makes sense. I'm on a committee, an interim committee, that's looking into these costs. And we're going to have some sort of legislation for the next session of the legislature. And I hope as governor I will be able to approve something that helps a lot of Montanans across the state.